Halo semuanya, hello everyone. Sorry, I forgot it's English. Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Chris E from Sydney, Australia. Um, uh, let's continue tonight. You know, welcome to my weekly YouTube live and IG live, where I will be discussing about business topics, basically business strategy, and lesson that I've learned so far in my journey as a business consultant, as a where my day-to-day profession as a accountant and tax agent, and while I'm building my network marketing business also. So yeah, let's dwell into it, but before we do that, let's heads up and inform everyone that I'm live now. Okay, let me just pull it up, my IG live, sorry, my WhatsApp group, and tell that I am live now. Okay, thing sit, and let's join from my other Instagram, so that I can make a call to everyone. Okay, and here we go. Let's call up some people. Okay, let's see. So welcome again, once again, welcome everyone. This is actually my weekly sort of like podcast or weekly live streaming using IG Live, Instagram Live, and YouTube. Where in where at this time I will be discussing about the books, the book I'm reading, the lesson I've learned, and yeah, and other things, so far in my journey in building my network marketing business and other stuff related to business. My profession, for those who doesn't know me, my profession, I'm actually a business consultant, business coach, and also I am actually my profession, day-to-day profession, right, as actually as an accountant and tax agent, of which where I will try to actually make it more down to earth session, to in sharing what I've learned about businesses, of which hopefully that will add value to your life. Okay, so this week I wanted to continue on my journey of lesson learned from a book that I've been reading and over again. It's a short book. I usually listen to the audiobook also. It's called the Consistency Pill, and it is from it's actually the author is actually named Simon Chan, which is one of my e-mentor. I've known him now for uh, not really known him yet. He connect with me in Instagram, but not yet know personally. But that's one of my goal also, that to know him personally and get to know him in more deeper. while I'm building, whilst I'm building my network marketing business. But anyway, let me just pull out Simon background. So who is Simon? Who is the actually the author of this book? Simon is, let me just read it from his website called MLM Nation. So I will put it up also in the description of the video later on the replay, for those who actually really wanted to actually learn from him. He has a very good resources, and I'm blessed to actually be a part of his Facebook group, of which he focused on the network marketing industry. Okay, anyway, Simon Chan is an Amazon best-selling author, consistency coach, and speaker who coaches salespeople and entrepreneurs on how to defeat overwhelm, stay consistent, and build successful business online. He is also a follower of Jesus Christ, a husband, a father, speaker, author of the Amazon bestseller Consistency Pill, and the founder of MLM Nation. So this is actually the website I'm talking about, where this is actually the number one MLM train, and also so this is basically the number one MLM trainings on iTunes. He is regarded as the Oprah of MLM, having interviewed over 800 plus top income earners from around the world. He got started in network marketing in 2003 and eventually built a team of over 200,000 distributors, creating a seven-figure MLM business for his family. In 2013, so 10 years from when he started the network marketing business, he retired from building the MLM business, the network marketing business, to become a full-time business coach, speaker, and online marketer who helps network marketing distributors with online duplication, the same strategies he used to build his global team. After he read The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren, Simon Chan discovered God's purpose for him was to have a positive impact on as many lives as possible. Here is the anniversary. So he's basically the guy that I found on the internet. Hello, Aquarius Traveler. Welcome, welcome. This is the English session. So if you don't mind, yeah, that's good. You can learn. Hopefully, you can learn something also. Anyway, so the book called Consistency Pill. Now, I've been talking about Consistency Pill for a while now because, from my point of view, this is something that we always have struggled with. Everyone have struggled with this consistency. Why? Because not everything that we do we can find enjoyment, if I can say so. I'm guilty as well, with consistency. There are moments where I think, I don't feel like it, when the weather is really, if I can say, bad, and becoming an excuse. And I know most of the time it's because of my mindset, or maybe not a strong will, but everyone everyone has that. But the idea is not to beat yourself when you're not doing it. Okay, the idea the idea here is actually to be consistent in doing something towards your goal, whether it's actually a daily things, whether it's actually weekly, it's still consistent. Yes, we need more time, or it takes longer period to make it as a habit. because to become a habits, the action should be consistent, you know, at a longer period. Now, one of the thing that I have committed myself is doing this IG live, creating content every week. I haven't been able to actually, to be honest, I haven't been able to actually create content every day like reels. I'm still struggling on that. I wanted to actually create that, and I will find my way or my flow to actually do that in a more enjoyable uh situation for me. So I'm not saying it's actually a defeat, but I'm enjoying. I'm trying to I'm not trying. I'm actually enjoying doing this now. Although sometimes, I felt, okay, what topics do I need to do? But that's why, sometimes this is that I have tried so far, that I'm creating topics, in advance. I put topics in advance, for in a Google spreadsheet, so that I know what to actually talk about. Now, in 2 weeks time, I'm still, to be honest, this is what, I'm just telling you a background, about me, because this IG live and YouTube live is about me showing you my journey on how I'm building up my business. I'm building up my network marketing business. The focus is actually for that. But I'm I'm applying the principle and learning lesson learned from me as an accountant, from me doing the business side of the accountancy, and applying it here as a in the network marketing industry, and also applying all the coaching, the program that I have actually put together, or I created and put together, that I coach for other businesses also. So I'm applying it to myself also now. So this is a strategy for growing. So this is actually part of the program that I created called the Entrepreneur's Roadmap, and this is actually milestone number 2, which is a strategy. So the strategy of creating contents in social media. So this is a strategy for marketing, this is a strategy for building your brands, and doing the IG live and the YouTube live in itself is the milestone number 5, which is implementation. But just to give you an idea of sometimes how complex it can be, in do for us to actually be in business, and sometimes we ignore those things. Now, coming back to the lessons I've learned so far from the book, continuation of the previous lessons. This is part 3, as you can see, right? Consistency Pill part 3. So I'm going to create Consistency Pill part 4, part 5, until I complete the whole book. I completely discuss it and shared my lesson or my learning and my action plan from there. Okay. So yeah, let's dwell into the books. Let me just turn off my heaters. It's very cold right now. Already, going towards the winter. Okay. So what have I learned about from the next 2 chapters, which is chapter 5 and chapter 6? If you want to know more about the previous chapters, what I've learned from chapter 1 and chapter 2 and 3 and 4, you might want to go back to my YouTube channel, and just look at the videos, and under the live sections you can search for the consistency pills. Okay, so basically, just to give you a summary, the first the first chapter is about the one thing that everyone actually agreed on, every leader agreed on, and that that one thing is consistency. Okay, so that's something that we all understand, and I think, I can safely say that that's actually a common sense, right? that we that consistency is the one thing that can make us successful or fail. I have to say, consistency in itself, it's a very neutral activity. You can be consistent being lazy. You can consistent being, uh, going towards a wrong way, and thus making you lost along the way, right? But yeah, cons- but but it is still the consistency. The consistency is the one thing that will make you successful, or will make you become an expert in something, or getting better in something. Okay, and the chapter 2 of the book, it's it discusses about the 3 C's that people buy from you. So people, the first one is people buy your change. What change in your life? So people buy that. People can see that. Like for example, when I was diagnosed as diabetic, I was 74. I am so round. You know I was so fat for my height. I'm I'm just 158 centimeters, which is very small, right? Very, people consider me as a small people. Anyway, but just to say, not I'm overweight. Okay, I'm overweight for my height. But when I do a lifestyle change, when my mindset change, and I'm striving for a healthier lifestyle, I dropped my weight from 74. Now I'm in the range of 60 and sometimes 59. I'm aiming for 58. I'm still getting there. So I'm in the 60 range, 60 to 61. I rarely go to 62 now. I'm always I'm consistently in the 60 range, 60 kilos range. But dropping 14 kilos and consistently maintaining my weight, people see that and people buy that. And the next C is what is commitment. People buy our commitment. People can see the commitment. If we're saying one thing and then never do it, and then do another thing the next day, people see that also. So it's very important for us to understand that the commitment to do something is important also, because that's part of the consistency. Whether we like it or not, that's part of consistency. And the third one is people buy your consistency. So consistency in itself, showing people that you are doing things in a more predictable manners. Okay, so that's how it is. So in the chapter 2, people buy your 3 C's: your change, your commitment, and your consistency. And these three will create a confidence in people, in you. The chapter 3 talks about about his Simon's, journey in starting in the network marketing industry, and how he, when he get this mindset change about life and doing business, and how success meant for him. So in this one, I learned that we need to have a change in our mindset. We all probably have this, what we call momentum, something that really have a deep meaningful impact event in our life, that we want to start doing something different to achieve something, right? And in my case, is this is when I this is when I was diagnosed diabetic. And that's when my mindset, it's either, at that time I was very, very grateful. I'm grateful that I have been able to actually look on the positive side, look on the bright side, and then change my mindset. I was hurtful inside, to be honest, but that pain in, myself, I use that as a boost to to myself, to actually go out and make it for me to become a better version of myself. Hello, Xiaoming, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you can enjoy, and and hopefully this YouTube live can add value to you. And yeah, I'm discussing about the Consistency Pill, a book that I've learned from Simon Chan. It's a very, very good book. Yeah, so this event actually, this event in my life where I was diagnosed as diabetic completely changed me in that sense. I didn't really care about health before. I was thinking that I'm invincible, most of the time, when I do health check, general health check, it's always, the doctor always says, oh, it's borderline diabetic, borderline, so you're not yet there. So, but be careful. But that those kind of words, feeling making me feel that I'm invincible. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not. I was diagnosed as diabetic type 2 in 2018, and at that time, I felt really bad about myself. But that feelings, that painful feelings, and the idea, that diabetic can cause a lot of diseases in myself, create a lot of illness, in myself, and the idea of, or the possibility that I won't be able to actually see my children getting married, my daughter, getting my daughter on the aisle for weddings, really changed my mindset. And I use that as the booster for me to actually become better, become the better version of me. And yeah, so because of that, I changed my lifestyle. So that's basically what I've learned from chapter 3. The idea that something, an event that really, change your life, that's the idea of chapter 3. And chapter 4 is about the mind tricks that works. So this is where we have to have the mindset to support what we're doing. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but the idea in this chapter is to have the mindset that you will always find ways. You need to believe that, though. From my my experience, my learning here is you need to you need to have that saying or statement that you will always find ways to actually make it work really resonate with you, because sometimes you really don't feel like doing things when trouble comes, when obstacles seems to be a very big in your life. You lost your energy, you lost your mojo, if you can say so. Or yeah, but this is where taking a step back and having that mindset still in you, to always know that this too shall pass. Every problem in our lives will soon pass away. We will soon get over it. We'll get through it. And that mindset, though, it's hard when you're in the middle of it, in the midst of the storm. But this is where declaring positive statements about you, and if you're spiritual, like I'm spiritual, I'm Christian, it is important for us to understand to speak the positive statements about you, about yourself. Whether it's actually statement from the Bible, from your religious books, from motivational, videos that you found somewhere. It's important for you to be able to actually keep saying that and keep meditating on that, because it's easier said than done. When you're I get emotional of this because it's easier for people to say it and doing it in the middle of the storms. It's easier to say that, oh, hang in there, hang on there, this too shall pass. But you can't see that. And that's where chapter 4 talks about. I learned from my own experience. For a while, I felt that God is silent for me. And going through those troubles, going through those period, all I know is that my life is a grace. My life is a blessing. When I get over that period, I can understand that no matter what, we can overcome. We can overcome every obstacles. that we have in front of us. All you need to do is just take one step at a time. Don't give up. And that's what I learned. And that's what, for me, that chapter is all about. The chapter is about saying to yourself that you will always find ways to make it work, find ways for you to keep going no matter what. Find ways that you will go and strive for the best and strive to become the better version of you no matter what your obstacles are in front of you. And that's what I have experienced right now also, my yeah, this is actually a life journey, and that's chapter 4. So have that mindset with you, a mindset to say that you can do all things, you can get through this, you will always find ways. And chapter 5, so now we're entering the next chapter. In chapter 5, it talks about consistency beats intensity. So it's not about, how a lot of people saying, take that big leap, take that big steps. Sometimes it's not about intensity. Most of the time, never start with intensity, but it's all about consistency. Taking small step, one small step at a time. And then when you get the hang of it, you can then increase the intensity. So it's like going to a gym, right? When you're going to a gym, if you go straight away, in a higher intensity mode, your body really drops after that. And what happened? You will feel the pain and you're reluctant to go to the next one. And that's how I feel. That's how we feel about life most of the time also. When we're doing things that we don't like, what do we do? How do we feel about it? We don't feel like it. We know it's something that you need to do. But if it's something that require a lot of energy from you, or requiring your energy, of your mental energy also, you will not do it most of the time because it's hurting inside, because we're focusing straight away on the bigger, like a lot of things that you need to actually do, instead of focusing on the intensity of the, intensity talks about power, right? Power, how big, like engine, revving the engine. It's like talking about when you start the car, you go straight away to gear number 5. You can't do that. You have to start from gear number 1, start from neutral, and then moving up to gear number 1, and then revving up. You can't straight away rev your car to, you know, at the 9,000 RPM. You have to start at 1,000 RPM and slowly going up. It's the same thing here. And this is something that we need to understand and we need to realize that consistency in doing the activity that will take you towards your goal is more important than the big impact of your activity. If we're looking at the impact or the results, and we're focusing on the result only, we're losing we're losing momentum straight away. From my point of view, the way, from my experience, yes, happens always like that. So for example, if we want to lose weight, but then we focus on losing weight only, right? How much weight that we lost. Then if we're focusing only on the weight itself, like right now, for example, I'm stuck at 60, and sometimes to 59 I'm happy, and then going back to 60, and then I feel sad about it. If we're focusing to if we're just focusing on the losing weight on the kilogram base, then we lost we lost the case already. But if we're focusing on the activity, consistently being healthy, consistently eating healthy, consistently, you know, having the lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, then we're on the right track no matter what. So focus on the activity, not the intensity. So that's what I've learned in there, in the chapter. So the next the next one from the chapter that I've learned is, we sometimes in business doing a wrong activity to motivate our team. And I'm surprised, to be honest. For me, the way I look at it, when we when we do competition, I was thinking that's sometimes, that can be a motivation for people to actually grow. It can. But the problem with competition, especially when they think that they cannot finish, it's a doom from the beginning already. So the idea is not about competition. The idea is not to create a contest, but the idea to motivate people in our group, in a group, in our team, in our business team, in our sales team, is to reward small steps and consistently doing it every day. And the idea also is to reward the activity. Because what happens is, if you're doing competition or, challenge, if I can say so, right? What happens is, a lot of people will see that a lot of the time that people will see that we cannot complete the thing, and thus we don't even try to actually enter the competition. But if the idea of that challenge is not to reward who win, right? But to the idea is to reward everyone who actually started doing the small things and consistently until it's finished. Whether it's actually every day, consistent, or every 2 days, or whatever it is, but consistently showing progress during the, let's say, the 30 days challenge. Wow, it's so hot in here because I turned on the heater before. Anyway, continue. So this is where we need to understand it's not about the competition, but the mindset behind it. When we are rewarding people because they are winning in a competition, there will be losers in that sense. And from that point of view, what I've learned is it's demotivate most of people doing the challenge. So I think what we need is a reward system rather than a competition system. It's a reward system that we reward people doing the right thing, doing the right activities. I That's actually a big moment now for me, when I read about this. And since to be consistent is more important than the intensity of or the result, then creating a reward system based on activity is the right way to actually motivate our teams. That's that's a big aha moment for me from that chapter. So basically, yeah, try that. I, I'm I'm trying that now. I'm trying, that's actually a big moment for me, and I am implementing that, that strategy right now. And in chapter 6, next chapter, this is talking about the experience formula. What is experience? And the way that Simon put it, it's really good. So experience equals event plus reaction. Event is something that happened to us, and reaction is how you respond to what happened to you. So basically, reaction is how you respond to an event, because event in itself have no value. It's how you react to an event creates value. Okay, creates value of that. Now the value that we put in to an event, that's experience. So experience is the outcome you have in your life, whether it is a success or failure, wealth or poverty, health or illness, happiness or frustration. So basically, now if we go to the workbook that I have, experience is the outcome you have in your life. So the key to happiness and success is realizing that you can't control events, but you can control reaction. You can control the value you put to an event. And that's how you can then create better experience in your life, better experiences in your life. Thus, you must react better to what happens. And the five tips that Simon telling us is that you have to accept event in your life. That's number one. Number two, always be grateful for what you have. Number three, never criticize, complain, or condemn. So this is about taking responsibility to yourself. We need to start taking responsibility in whatever happened in our life as our responsibility. Is not someone else's fault. So we need to understand that. Number four, you need to stop and think before you react. And the last one, always look for the lessons in whatever happened in your life. So now, going to the action steps. In here, it says, think back to an event that happened recently in your life, write down how you reacted and experience you got. And I keep referring, when I think about it, when I try to actually review event happenings in my life, in my business, in my network marketing business, I came back, I was reminded of this event, of which my dad blamed the company and sort of like me for not taking care more of those people selling in the online stores, of which they are making the price, really bad, flooded the market with a very low price products. What happened was I was arguing with my dad that it is not my responsibility or the company's responsibility, you know, for people selling illegally. And the company has done its best by acting on information of the evidence there, for stores that are selling online illegally, things like that. So they do something about it. They do based on active informations. And what happened was, I got emotional about it and I was arguing with my dad, and it's resulted in my dad not doing the business anymore. And that affects my my mom's businesses also because they are doing it together. So that's what happened. And how could I have reacted better? I guess in this case, I could have more calmly, dealing with the feedback that my dad is giving or frustration that he has, and basically forward this to the company, of which I have. But yeah, I guess that's how it is. Hey Mariska, hey Bumelia, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so basically my response could be better in that sense. I don't know whether it will make him still be in the business. I'm not saying that, but I could have reacted better at that time, so then I'm not arguing and lose my emotion out of that. But yeah, I think that's how I learn about it. So I guess the experience here, the important thing is how you react to an event. will give value to the whole thing, and that's called experience. And from my lesson here, it's it's important for us to understand that your reaction is based on how you see the events. And when you see and when you put a big values in things, you will either swing so much to the happiness or so much to the disappointment. And I guess what we really want to is to be as much as possible in the middle, as fast as possible also. I'm not saying that you cannot feel happy or cannot feel disappointed about something, but I guess what you really need is how you react when you saw an event. You cannot escape that you put value of an event, but you can control how you react based on the value. Now, if we're, you know, what whether we are actually happy or sad or disappointment, positive or negative, negative emotions involved, positive or negative values involved in an event happens in your life, you need to understand it's like a pendulum, right? So it's like a pendulum. This is something that I learned also somewhere else from a business course that I've learned. So if you're like a pendulum, right? So always swinging back and forth to an extreme measure. Your action, which is a reaction of your emotion at the end of the day, will then can create chaos also. So this is why it's very important for us to understand that how our emotion gets in the way sometimes, and we need to understand that. And this is related so much with reaction, because most of the time once your emotion gets in a way of your thinking clearly, your reaction will be based on emotion rather than straight thinking. And we have to understand to control that, and we can control that. I'm learning also on this. I'm not saying that I am already perfect on this. No, I'm not. But I'm learning to understand that we need to be as fast as possible in the neutral state. To see things clearly, we need to be able to come up with a neutral state. And it's not as easy as said. It's easier said than done. I know that because I feel that many times also. I feel the swing many times also. I feel, event happens, panic mode straight away. I have a panic attack. I have anxiety attack. And this is exactly where we need to understand. There are things that we can be fast in going into the neutral state and have no effects of the emotion, so thus we can see things clearly. There are things also that we are dwelling in that swing modes, right, in that extreme modes, and thus our emotion gets in the way of our thinking. So it's the example of this is like when you're drinking alcohol, right? Your brain clocks. So the alcohol blocks a certain nerve in your brains. So thus it cannot see things clearly. It cannot think clearly. It cannot feel things clearly. Right? So that's what happened. So emotion, whether we like it or not, yes, there is a good emotion. Yes, there is a bad emotion. But emotion in itself, when it's actually on the extreme side, will not make you think clearly, because it's either a dopamine or a cortisol. Dopamine is when you feel happy, makes you feel jumpy and shout out and things like that. And cortisol makes you feel sick, make you feel sad. It's a toxic feeling. Many people say, oh, it's better to have a dopamine than to have happy feelings all the time. It is, and it's not. Unfortunately, we have to understand, when you are on a very extreme happiness mode, you will not see things clearly. You will hit a wall and you die, for example, in the sense of, that's how it is. So my learning here is for me to get back to the neutral state as soon as possible. Everyone have that moment. I am too. I am going through right now. I'm going through right now period of where I am feeling anxious. I am actually feeling insecure. And that clogs my brain. It blocks how I want to go in life. And if this goes bad, that goes into a stage where we call depression. And depression, as you know, will not result in a good action. So I need to take care of that too. I need to take care of myself. In times like this, you need to find a coping mechanism, or a fix, that you can have a moment to relax and get out and step back. So then you can be in your neutral state as soon as possible. I know that I'm grateful. I have this belief right now. I really believe it, that everything will pass. Everything shall pass. Whether we like it or not, everything will pass. This hardship, this mental breakdown will pass. We just need to survive. We just need to hang in there. We just need to find ways. We just sometimes you don't, when you cannot find ways, you just need time to actually cool down and calm down and then relax, meditate, find ways that you can then calm yourself down out of that and survive daily. Sometimes you just need to survive, and surviving is a small step also. And celebrating that surviving mode, that you are being consistent in your life, in my life. So I guess that's my lesson from these two chapters. Experience how you see your life. How do you see your life right now? Whatever you feel, whatever you are going through right now, whether it's actually a good thing or a bad thing, it's meaningless. It's nothing. It's only valuable to you as much as the value you put in the events. And that's something for me too. Whether we like it or not, we create a value to an event, of which that value and plus the reactions create an impact in ourselves. So I would like to take this moment also to actually encourage everyone to take care of themselves, take care of yourself physically and mentally also, because it's very important for us to understand this. Very important for us to actually have someone to just listen to you, for everyone out there. I'll be praying for those who have the mental issue right now in wherever you are. I pray that God will open doors for you, that God will give you strength, that show you the light at the end of the tunnel. Everything shall pass. Hang in there and consistently surviving, and know that this too shall pass. So that's the lesson I've learned. Hopefully, everyone can learn something about this. I'm being vulnerable right now because I am really in the period of where I feel anxious. And and sometimes, during this period, you feel like you're alone. I feel like I'm alone, but I know that I'm not alone. I want to encourage everyone, whoever have that and watch this video. If you feel that, write in the comment below. We're not alone. And let's keep encouraging each other to actually take one small step at a time towards life, towards a betterment of ourselves, towards to become the best version of ourselves. And that's being consistent. Hope everyone feel blessed. My name is Chris E, and I'm from Sydney, Australia. See you next week on our next topic. Thank you. Bye bye.